Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time with Dorina. And we are from Women of Wisdom. And I want to welcome all the first time viewers and those that will be watching the replay. We are a mentoring, educational, nonprofit organization here to empower teen girls and women with practical wisdom and confidence. We are here to bridge that generational gap between the younger and the older generation because we need each other and we need to pass on vital knowledge, right? Yay. Okay. So I am doing a old familiar tea of mine, which is called toasted coconut almond bark. Yay. I have my creamer in this one and I have my honey. So I hope that you have your beverages as well and that you fill up your cup with lots of wisdom today. Okay? Tea time. Mm. Well, today I am trying out my iPad, and so we'll see how this goes. All right, be patient with me. All right, so last time we talked, we said that we were going to talk about fear, and so our topic today is false evidence appearing real. Okay, that's what fear is. False evidence appearing real. Okay, well, you know what? Actually, I was looking at all the different titles and all the things that people say about fear, and there's just so much out there, and phobias and all kinds of stuff out there. But you know what? We're talking about false evidence that appearing real. And so let's look at the definition that I have here of fear. It's a thought that a thought that something unpleasant might happen or might have happened. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's see what else I have for you is don't let false evidence appearing real paralyze you from succeeding or experiencing life. Fear is fabricated in our minds to keep us from feeling bad about not doing what we really want to do. Okay. And, you know, all of us have experienced fear in some kind of way. You know, I was thinking about earlier because, you know, my sister, now I'm the youngest in family. So my sister, when we were growing up, we had to share rooms together. And oh my goodness, you know, she would always try to scare me, you know, before we went to bed at night. She'd be telling me the pickle monster's gonna get me or something like that. And you know what? We end up sleeping with our light on at night, not because I was scared, but she scared her own self. And so, you know, fear is, you know, fabricated in our own minds a lot of times. But I'll tell you this, it has a real effect on our psychological and emotional well-being because of the stress that comes behind the fear that we create in our minds. And it can be so damaging to the point where we start having physical and mental issues. And I know that some of you may be familiar with that, but it goes all the way up to phobias. And fear and phobia are not the same, but fear leads to phobia. And so we're afraid of spiders, we're afraid of dogs, we're afraid of height. We're afraid of flying. I have to admit that one. I don't like flying. So fear is an ideal crippling, experience crushing, success stalling inhibitor inflicted only by yourself. Now that's what Stephanie Millish said, and I would agree with that. And so don't let fear paralyze you and stop you from being successful in life, okay? Fear immediate effect is to shut down. That's what fear does. Immediately when we start experiencing fear, we shut down. Just like we fear to love people because we fear of being rejected. And so we allow fear to shut us down. Fear itself is imagined, but does cause psychological and emotional consequences because stress can affect the body and mind in negative ways. Okay, so we have to not allow ourselves to fabricate and allow ourselves to uh, our imagination, like they say, to run wild. Really, some of it, that's why I don't do scary movies. I don't do scary movies. I don't like the adrenaline that comes from it. I don't like the excitement. And maybe you like that. Maybe you get it adrenaline behind all of that, but I don't do scary movies. But we have enough fear around as it is already. Just what we went through in 2020 for the pandemic, just through the fear that we experienced with that, shut everything down. And there's a lot that can be said about that. But like I said, just like what Stephanie Milish said, fear is an ideal crippling, experience crushing, success stalling inhibitor inflicted only by yourself. We inflict our own selves because we allow our imagination to go places where, they scare us, and then we're afraid to do stuff, and so this type of fear that we're talking about, uh, fear that's false evidence that appears real, is self-created. We self-create that type of fear, our own self. And sometimes we get so comfortable with the insecurities of our lives, we baby that thing. And, we really, the best way to learn how to not be fearful is to face your fears and conquer them and dominate them, because it really is fabricated in our minds. And so we need to learn how to handle things so that we can experience life. There's a fear of failure. There's a fear of success, And we won't even try in life because we're afraid that we're going to fail at whatever we do. And so we don't like to take risks because we're scared to do that. But living life bound and captured by your fear is so crippling. And it's just like the deer with the headlights. They get so fearful that they get paralyzed and they can't move. And that's what fear will do to you. It will paralyze you in life, and you will not accomplish the things that you desire to do because you're too afraid to do them. Well, let's look at it like, okay, what can come out of this if I put my best foot forward and take the risk and do what I desire to do and experience the joy in life of accomplishing things. These are the better things that you want in life, instead of just, why should we let fear conquer us and control us when it's all just fabricated in our minds? It's through the imagination. Okay. And you know me, I've been studying the brain, and it affects the what they call the amygdala in the brain. That's your area of your brain where you harness reasoning and judgment. And fear will cause you to have a foggy brain. So, and what it does, it will impel, or not impel, but it will impair our ability to make good decisions and right judgment. And so we don't want fear to dominate us to the point where we can't even make good decisions. You can't even you can't think clearly because you're caught up in fear. And this thing is false evidence. It's false evidence. It has no substance to it. It's just appearing real to the mind, but it's not really real. It has no substance. And because we know that, then let's cancel that out by go ahead and pursue your dreams. Pursue that adventure. Pursue that thing that you've always wanted to try out and may have been afraid. And some people, may have said, you come on, you can't do that. You're not good at this, you're not good at that. You don't have this and you don't have that. You know what? Do your research, find out all the information that you need to know about it, and then go for it. And don't let fear, somebody else's fear, stop you from gaining things in life that you want to have. How about that? Yeah. Okay, so fear don't let fear of success stop you from being successful. You'll never know how good you can be at something unless you try. And nothing beats a failure but a trier. You hear me saying that. If you've heard other videos that I came on, you've heard me say that. So I want to encourage you to follow your dream, live up to your highest potential in life. Do not allow fears to stop you, and do not allow other people's fears to stop you from doing well in life, because it's false evidence. appearing real. It's not even really real. But if you decide that you want to stay in the fear, that false evidence that appears real, it will affect you because you're holding on to something that you're making up in your mind, and the mind is affected by the brain, and your brain is affected by fear. And so now you got all these stress issues and all these phobias, and that stuff will drive you nuts. And so it's better for you to face whatever it is that you made up in your mind that you can't do or you're afraid to do. Come on, put your best foot forward and do it anyway, okay? Tea break. Okay, so go for it. That's what I say. All right. Okay, so this is Tuesday Tea Time with Dorina. And I want to share with you next week, we're going to talk about discretions in wisdom, because there is wisdom in discretion. Okay, and we'll find out more about that next week. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I love you. And remember, as always, walk in wisdom. All right. Good night.